Hey listeners, welcome to English Made Simple.
We are so glad you're here with us today.
Yeah, absolutely. We spend a lot of time talking about learning English from books.
Right, the traditional stuff.
Exactly. Like we study grammar rules, we fill out worksheets, and we memorize these huge vocabulary lists. But there's a very real, very scary moment for every single language learner.
Oh, I know exactly what you're going to say.
Right. It's that exact moment you step out of your house, you leave the books behind, and you actually have to use English in the real world.
Yes, that is terrifying for a lot of people.
And honestly, I think one of the most common places to feel that sudden wave of panic is the supermarket.
Oh, it is entirely normal to feel nervous about that.
Yeah.
Going grocery shopping in a new country or, just navigating it in a second language can be incredibly nerve-wracking.
It really is.
Because supermarkets are essentially designed to be overwhelming. I mean, they're busy, they're loud, there's usually music playing.
Parts rolling around everywhere.
Exactly, and people are just rushing past you.
Yeah.
So you add the pressure of trying to remember the right English words on top of that, and it's very easy to just freeze up or, feel too shy to speak at all.
Yeah, I totally get that. And the really frustrating part is that the everyday shopping phrases you actually need in those busy moments, they're almost never taught in standard textbooks.
That is so true.
A textbook might teach you the word for apple or bread.
Right.
But it definitely doesn't teach you what to say when the cashier is mumbling quickly or when the self-checkout machine suddenly starts flashing red and beeping at you.
Which is exactly why our deep dive today is designed to fix that.
Yes, exactly.
Our mission today is to build your real-life confidence. We aren't just going to give you another list of vocabulary to memorize.
Nobody wants that.
Right. Instead, we're going to walk you step by step through a complete, typical trip to the supermarket.
From start to finish.
Exactly. We'll start right at the front sliding doors, and we'll finish all the way at the checkout line.
I think that's the perfect approach. And to all our listeners out there, I want you to treat this deep dive like a comfortable practice session with friends.
Yes, absolutely. Zero pressure here.
Zero pressure. Throughout our conversation today, we're going to slow down on the really important phrases. And when we do that, I want you to actually practice speaking them out loud with us, right wherever you are.
Yeah, because speaking out loud is the real secret to building that muscle memory.
It really is. So let's just begin our trip. Every shopping journey starts the exact same way, right?
Yep, you walk through those big glass front doors.
But before you can even think about finding your favorite foods, you need to find something to carry them in.
Right, you need to choose your shopping gear.
Exactly. And you usually have two main choices waiting for you when you walk inside.
Yes. So the first choice is a shopping basket.
A shopping basket.
Right. A shopping basket is small. It's usually made of plastic, and it has a couple of handles so you can just carry it in your hand or, loop it over your arm.
Right.
You grab a shopping basket when you have a very short list of things to buy.
Okay, and the second choice is a shopping cart.
The classic shopping cart.
Yeah. And a shopping cart is that big metal one with 4 wheels that you push in front of you. You grab a shopping cart when you're buying groceries for the whole week or, when you have a really long list.
And the interesting thing here is that the physical difference between the two actually dictates how you move through the store and even how much you buy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Have you ever wondered why shopping carts have gotten so much bigger over the last few decades?
Actually, yes. They feel massive these days. I feel like I'm pushing a boat.
It's actually a deliberate psychological choice by supermarkets.
Wait, really?
Yeah. When you use a big shopping cart, your brain sees all that empty space and subconsciously wants to fill it up.
Oh, wow.
So you end up buying more. But on the other hand, if you choose the basket, it gets physically heavy as you fill it.
Oh, that makes sense.
Right, your arm gets tired, which acts as a natural physical signal to just stop shopping.
That makes total sense. Choosing a shopping cart is kind of like driving a large SUV for a big family road trip.
Yeah, good analogy.
Like, it holds a ton of stuff, but it's a bit harder to steer through the crowds.
Exactly.
But choosing a basket is like riding a bicycle for a quick errand. You're fast, you're nimble, and you're only grabbing the essentials.
Right. But sometimes, especially during busy hours, you walk into the store and all the baskets or carts are missing.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
Yeah, they might be in use or they're just piled up outside the parking lot. In that case, you have to ask a staff member for help.
And that brings up our first real-life interaction for today.
Here we go.
Approaching a stranger to ask for something can definitely feel intimidating. But here's a secret that works every single time.
What's that?
If you add the simple phrase, "excuse me," before your question, you instantly sound natural, polite, and friendly.
Oh,
It
outstanding.
just softens the whole interaction.
Excuse me, is truly your best tool in any store.
Yeah.
It gently gets someone's attention without sounding demanding at all. So let's practice how that flows when you need a basket. Listen to the rhythm of this. Excuse me, where can I find a shopping basket?
That sounds great.
Try saying that out loud with me, listeners. Where can I find a shopping basket?
And if you're doing a big weekly shop and you need the bigger option, you'd ask for a cart. Let's practice that one too.
Go ahead.
Excuse me, where can I find a shopping cart? Notice how keeping a friendly tone goes a really long way. Let's say again, where can I find a shopping cart?
Perfect. So now we're fully equipped.
We've got our gear.
We have our cart, and we're walking into the main area of the store.
Yeah.
But now we hit the next big challenge.
Finding the food.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How do you actually locate specific food in a massive building with tens of thousands of items?
It can feel like a total maze.
It really can.
But stores aren't random. They're organized using a very specific layout, and understanding the English terms for that layout helps a lot. We generally use two main words: aisles and sections.
Right. So let's look at what an aisle is first. An aisle is the long, straight walking path between those tall, parallel shelves.
The long walkways.
Exactly. And aisles are almost always numbered. If you look up at the ceiling, you'll see hanging signs that say aisle 1, aisle 2, aisle 3, and so on.
Right.
The aisles are usually in the center of the store, and they hold all the dry goods, canned foods, cereal, and boxed items. Basically anything that doesn't need to be kept cold.
Okay, so if the center has the numbered aisles, what exactly is a section?
A section is a dedicated, specialized area, and these are usually located around the outside walls.
The perimeter of the store.
Right. Sections group similar, usually fresh, foods together.
Ah, okay.
For example, the produce section is the area for fresh fruits and vegetables.
Got it.
The bakery section is where they bake bread. The dairy section is for milk, butter, and eggs. And the meat counter is where the butcher cuts fresh meat.
I want to pause here for a second because this layout design is actually fascinating.
Oh, it really is.
There's a reason almost every supermarket puts the fresh sections on the outside edges, right? Especially the dairy section.
Oh, yeah, always.
It's always at the absolute back corner of the store. Why do they make us walk so far just to get milk?
It's a brilliant mix of logistics and consumer psychology.
How so?
Well, logistically, the dairy coolers need to be close to the loading docks at the back of the building. That way, the milk goes straight from the delivery truck into the refrigerators without getting warm.
Oh, that makes sense for the fresh stuff.
Exactly. But psychologically, milk is the most commonly bought item.
Right.
By putting it at the very back, the store literally forces you to walk past hundreds of other products to get there, which increases the chance you'll buy something else on impulse.
That is so sneaky, but I have to admit, it works on me every time. I always grab cookies on the way to the milk.
Yep, they know what they're doing.
Now, from a language perspective, let me ask you a practical question. If I'm completely lost and I'm looking for milk, what word should I use with the staff? Do I ask for the dairy section, or do I ask for an aisle number?
The great news is that either one works perfectly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you don't have to stress about picking the right term. A staff member might reply to you by saying it's in the dairy section at the back.
Okay.
Or they might just point and say it's on aisle 5.
Uh-huh.
Because the dairy section occupies an aisle space, both descriptions are totally normal to hear.
Well, that's a relief. It definitely takes the pressure off trying to remember the perfect vocabulary word.
Definitely.
Let's actually demonstrate this so our listeners can hear the natural pacing of this interaction. Let's do a quick role play.
Sounds good?
I'll be the confused shopper and you be the store employee stocking shelves.
Hey, I'm busy organizing some boxes.
Excuse me, which aisle is the milk on?
Oh, the milk is down on aisle 5, right at the back.
Thank you.
See how fast and simple that is. It's completely standard exchange.
Very natural.
Now, listeners, let's practice that exact phrasing. Try asking for the milk yourself out loud. Which aisle is the milk on?
And let's try it with a dry good, something you'd find in the middle of the store.
Good idea.
Imagine you want to make spaghetti tonight. Listen to how this sounds. Excuse me, where can I find the pasta?
Perfect.
Try saying that out loud. Where can I find the pasta?
Excellent. So you've navigated the store maze, you asked for directions, and you finally found the right area.
But the job isn't quite done yet.
No, it's not. Now you need to look at the food, select the best quality, and in some areas, ask for very specific quantities.
And this is where learning vocabulary is so important, because in English, especially in the fresh food sections like produce and bakery, we don't always just say, give me one of those, or give me two.
Right. That sounds a little unnatural.
We use special container or quantity words.
Yes, and these words often have historical roots, which is fun. For example, when you go to the dairy section to buy eggs, you generally don't ask for 12 eggs.
No, you don't.
The standard word is a dozen. A dozen always means a group of 12.
Right.
If you want the smaller box of 6 eggs, you ask for a half dozen.
And when we move over to the produce section, we see more of these specific grouping words. Bananas, for instance. They grow connected together at the top stem.
Right.
Because of that natural grouping, we call that a bunch of bananas.
We also use the word bag quite a lot in the produce section for prepackaged items. You wouldn't really buy individual small carrots. You'd buy a bag of carrots.
Right.
And over in the bakery, when bread is baked in one large uncut piece, we call it a loaf.
Yeah.
So you put a loaf of bread in your cart.
A dozen eggs, a bunch of bananas, a bag of carrots, a loaf of bread.
Exactly.
But knowing the names isn't enough, right? What if I want to know if the food is actually good today?
That is important.
What if I want to know if that loaf of bread was baked this morning or, yesterday?
You absolutely have the right to ask about the quality of the food. Stock isn't always rotated perfectly. If you're standing at the bakery or the seafood counter, you want to make sure you're getting something fresh, and you can simply ask the staff behind the counter.
Listen to how easy this is. Are these fresh?
Nice and simple.
Try practicing that, listeners. Are these fresh?
And it's slightly different for fruit. If you're buying a papaya or an avocado or a peach, and you want to eat it tonight with dinner, it needs to be soft and ready.
Right. Not hard as a rock.
Exactly. The English word for fruit that is ready to eat is ripe.
That's a great word. You can hold up the fruit and ask, is the papaya ripe?
Yeah.
Give that a try out loud. Is the papaya ripe?
Now, beyond freshness, we really have to talk about special dietary needs. This is incredibly common today, and supermarkets have adapted.
Oh, definitely.
But finding the right alternative foods can be like a treasure hunt.
It really can. If you have an allergy or a specific health diet, you really need to know the right phrases. For instance, if you can't digest cow's milk, you need products with no dairy. The phrase we use is dairy-free.
You can ask any employee, where can I find dairy-free products?
Let's practice that.
Try it with me. Where can I find dairy-free products?
And if you're someone who can't eat the protein found in standard wheat, meaning regular bread and pasta are off limits, you're looking for products without gluten.
The term for that is gluten-free.
Right.
Try asking for that section out loud. Where can I find gluten-free products?
Super helpful. Now, before we move out of the fresh sections, there's one specific area that requires a little more conversation than the others.
Oh, I know this one.
The meat counter. You usually can't just grab what you want. You actually have to speak to the butcher behind the glass display.
This is a classic service interaction. Let's do another quick role play.
Okay, let's do it.
Imagine you're planning to cook dinner, and you need some chicken. As always, a simple hello, and please keep the conversation smooth. I'll be the butcher.
Hello, can I please have 2 chicken breasts?
Of course. I'll weigh those and wrap them up for you. Anything else today?
No, that's all. Thank you.
See, it really is that straightforward. Listeners, let's practice your order at the meat counter. Can I please have 2 chicken breasts?
Nice.
Try saying that. Can I please have 2 chicken breasts?
Okay, we've loaded up our cart with a fresh loaf of bread, ripe fruit, and some chicken.
Looking good.
But before I move on to talk about how to read price tags, hunt for discounts, and figure out what to do when the shelf is totally empty, I need to share a quick message. If you're enjoying this, subscribe to our channel for more English listening practice.
All right, let's dive into prices and sizing, because the size of the item completely changes the price strategy. You see this heavily in the drinks aisle.
Ah, yes. Buying water, soda, or juice.
Right. If you buy a small group of bottles held together by plastic rings or cardboard, we call that a pack.
A pack?
You might buy a 6-pack of water or a 4-pack of soda. It's light and it's easy to carry.
But if you're hosting a big barbecue, a pack isn't going to cut it. You need the heavy cardboard box that holds like 24 bottles?
Right. That large box is called a case of water. So a pack is a small grouping and a case is a very large bulk grouping.
And speaking of bulk, American and English-speaking supermarket cultures love a good sale.
Oh, we really do.
Finding discounts is practically a sport. There's one famous type of deal you'll see advertised everywhere. It's the BOGO deal.
Spelled B-O-G-O. It's an acronym that stands for buy one, get one.
Right.
Usually it implies buy one, get one free. Sometimes it means buy one, get one half off.
It's a huge retail strategy. Stores run BOGO deals instead of just offering 50% off because a BOGO forces you to take 2 items off their shelves instead of just 1.
Exactly.
Which helps them clear out their inventory twice as fast.
It's very smart. But sometimes the signs are confusing. You might see a BOGO sign, but you aren't sure if it applies to the specific flavor of chips you're holding.
That happens to me all the time.
It's perfectly fine to ask a worker to clarify.
You can just ask, is there a buy one, get one offer on this?
Good phrase.
Practice that with me. Is there a buy one, get one offer on this?
Yep.
Or you can ask a broader question if you're just looking to save money. Are there any deals on this item?
But what happens when there is an amazing deal, you rush over to the aisle, and you look at the shelf, and it's completely empty?
The worst.
All the items are just gone.
I hate that. You just see an empty cardboard tray. But here's the thing. You shouldn't just give up.
Right.
Often, the shelves are empty simply because the staff hasn't had time to restock them yet. But there are plenty of boxes hidden in the back storage room.
Very true.
You just need to ask them to check their inventory. We call the store's inventory stock.
You can politely flag down an employee and ask, are there more of these in stock?
Good one.
Try saying that out loud. Are there more of these in stock?
Now, there's one last trap many shoppers fall into before they finish gathering their groceries.
What's that?
It happens back in the produce section with the loose fruits and vegetables.
The weighing confusion.
Yes. You put 5 loose apples into a little plastic bag, and then you just stand there wondering, do I need to put this bag on a metal scale right now, type in a code, and print a barcode sticker? Or will the cashier weigh the apples for me at the end?
It is incredibly confusing because every single supermarket chain uses different technology.
They really do.
Some stores require you to print your own sticker in the aisle, while others have scales built directly into the cash registers.
Right.
So it's completely normal to be unsure, and it's a great time to ask a staff member.
All you have to say is, do I need to weigh this?
Nice and easy.
Let's practice that. Do I need to weigh this?
Okay, our cart is finally full. We found the deals, we checked the stock, we figured out the apples.
We did it.
It's time for the final, and often most intimidating stage of our journey, the checkout conversation.
Yeah. For a lot of English learners, this is the climax of the anxiety.
Absolutely.
You have to handle money, talk to a cashier, and pack your bags fast, all while a line of people stands behind you watching and waiting.
It's a lot of pressure. The very first step to making it easier is simply picking the right checkout line.
Right. You generally have 3 options. First are the regular checkout lines with a human cashier. These are meant for people with large carts full of groceries.
Yes.
Second is the express line.
The express line is the fast lane. You'll usually see a sign above it that says 10 items or less. Or sometimes 15 items or less.
Right.
This is exactly where you go if you only have a small shopping basket. Don't take a full cart in there, or the people behind you will not be happy.
That is the truth. And the third option, which is everywhere now, is the self-checkout lane.
Oh boy.
This is an area with several computer kiosks where you act as your own cashier. You scan your items, you pack your bags, and you pay the machine completely by yourself.
On paper, self-checkout sounds great because you don't have to talk to anyone. But in reality, it can be really stressful.
Oh, tell me about it. I remember my first time using one. I thought it was like a fun video game.
A video game.
Yeah. You scan the barcode, beep. You scan the next one, beep. I felt like a pro.
Okay.
But then I set my heavy purse down next to my groceries. Suddenly, the screen flashed red, the machine froze, and a loud automated voice announced to the entire store, unexpected item in bagging area. I was so embarrassed, I was stuck, and I needed a lifeline.
That happens to native speakers every single day. The reason it happens is that the bagging area isn't just a table. It's actually a highly sensitive security scale.
Right.
When you scan an item, the computer knows exactly how many ounces that item should weigh. If you place it in the bagging area and the weight doesn't match perfectly, or if you lean your hand on the scale or put your purse down, the machine assumes you're trying to steal something, and it freezes.
It is so frustrating, but thankfully there's always an employee assigned to stand near the self-checkout computers just to rescue people from the machine.
Yes, the lifelines.
Let's practice what to say when the video game goes wrong.
One common issue is that loose fruit doesn't have a barcode. You can ask the attendant, how do I add the oranges?
Let's practice that.
Try that out loud. How do I add the oranges?
Another mistake is accidentally scanning the same item twice. Beep, beep. Now you're being charged for 2 milks, but you only have 1.
Oh, I've done that.
The computer won't let you delete it yourself. The employee has to do it. You can say, "Could you cancel this item, please?"
Very polite.
Practice that out loud. "Could you cancel this item, please?"
And finally, the payment technology might act up. You hold your credit card over the screen to pay wirelessly, but nothing happens. You can say, "It's not letting me tap."
It's not letting me tap. And if that happens, the employee will probably just tell you to insert the chip into the bottom of the card reader or swipe the magnetic stripe on the side.
Okay, that covers the self-checkout. But what if you choose a regular line with a human cashier? Let's do a full, realistic role play of that conversation so our listeners know exactly the rhythm and pacing to expect.
Good idea. There's a certain script to this interaction. I'll be the shopper, and you can be the cashier who has just finished scanning my groceries on the conveyor belt.
Ready?
Let's begin.
Hi there. Did you find everything you were looking for today?
Yes, we did. Thank you.
Great. Your total is $32.45.
Can I pay with a card?
Yes, cash or card is fine. Would you like a bag for your groceries? Paper or plastic?
Plastic, please. Actually, could you bag my items, please?
Sure thing. Here's your receipt. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much. You too.
Notice how natural and polite that was. There are two key phrases from that exchange to keep in your pocket.
What are they?
First, depending on the country, cashiers don't always bag the food for you. In some places, you're expected to do it yourself.
Right.
If you need them to do it, politely ask, "Could you bag my items, please?" Let's practice that. "Could you bag my items, please?"
And the second key phrase is confirming how you'll pay. Can I pay with a card?
A very common question.
Try saying that out loud. Can I pay with a card?
And with that, we've grabbed our bags, taken our receipt, and walked out the door. We survived the supermarket.
You did much more than survive. You navigated it with confidence. And really the biggest takeaway here, the thing that will get you through any confusing moment, is remembering that politeness is a universal language.
It really is.
Saying please, thank you, and excuse me makes any interaction smooth.
Absolutely. Even if you forget a specific vocabulary word or if your English grammar isn't 100% perfect, a polite tone bridges the gap.
For sure.
Supermarkets are actually wonderful, low-pressure environments to practice your English. You can walk slowly through the aisles, read the English labels on the boxes, and practice these small, friendly phrases with the staff.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a final thought, a little challenge for your next shopping trip.
Oh, I like challenges.
The next time you're standing in a long checkout line, try not to just pull out your phone and stare at the screen. Instead, look at the items the person in line ahead of you is buying. How might you use the confidence you built today to strike up a tiny, friendly 10-second conversation?
Oh, I love this challenge. People love talking about food.
Exactly. If you see they're buying an interesting brand of coffee or a delicious-looking block of cheese, that's an instant shared interest.
Yeah.
You could just say, "Excuse me, is that coffee good? I've been wanting to try it." It's a brave, wonderful way to practice speaking in the real world before it's your turn to pay.
That's such a great idea. Food always brings people together, and it's the perfect icebreaker.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive for today. We hope you feel ready to tackle the grocery store. If you enjoyed listening to us, comment where you're from and tell us if you found this helpful.